Hi, everyone. We're working through our foundations of Pilates, and we're doing today what we would consider a beginner level class. So we're going to start right into your hundreds. So hopefully maybe you've stretched a little bit before this, so we have time to get through everything that's on our list. So sitting upright, you're going to perch right on your sit bones, have your knees bent, your hands to the back of your legs. With that, the legs can be a little apart, and so can the feet as well. Looking down at your chest, curl the tail up towards your gaze, and then we round the back. You can slide your hands down your legs as you place your spine down 1 inch one vertebra at a time. Come right to your upper up curl. You're balanced right at the tip of the blades, and the knees fold in. Here, my cat's coming up to support my head. This is Jolie. Extend the legs up to the ceiling and reach the arms long and forward. Start pumping the arms. Inhaling and then exhaling. Hundreds is named hundreds because ideally you're pumping your arms 100 times. Inhale for 5 beats, exhale for 5 makes 10. And by the time you do 10 full breaths, you've created 100 beats, 100 breaths. Now, I tend not to count, which is probably bad to admit, but I tend to feel what it feels like in my body and look at my clients' bodies to see what they should be doing. And definitely if you feel like your neck is killing you, if you feel it strained, rest your head down and then come up again if and when you're ready. However, if you lower your head, you'd want to pull the knees in a little closer. If you're up in the upper up curl because the waist is pressed down, you can stay higher in the curl and go lower with your legs. So always pay attention to your body's cues. You want to keep yourself safe and also challenged at the same time. Then from here, we'll fold the knees in, lay down, and stretch the legs forward. You would have an option for roll up to use a TheraBand around your feet. I'm not going to do that today. And we're lifting the arms up to the ceiling. Feel the weight of your shoulder blades heavy and the ribs ground. They press down into the mat. You could take the arms back, but don't let your waist lift any higher than it already is. Bringing the arms up, we start to lift the head, the neck, the shoulders. You exhale and you pull yourself up off the ground and bend your spine forward over your legs. Look down at your knees. Here, the feet should be together and ideally flexed. If your hamstrings are tight, you may have your knees bent and you might even have your feet in a point. And then we're rolling it back. So you're thinking of rotating the pelvis around the top of your thighs, your femurs, and you go down, you sink yourself down. The arms can be higher, but you would lower them if you start to feel that you're losing your support, your ability to take your body where you want to at the pace that works for you. So we come up and over, lowering the hands down makes it easier. You even bring your hands to your legs and pull the elbows wide as you curve the belly into the curve of your spine and dive over yourself. As you progress in your practice, you'll be able to take the arms higher, like initially coming down, they're probably lower. Eventually they would be up higher and you still have the support from your abdominal wall to take you down with perfect control to the ground. Let's just do one more wherever you are. And of course, you could have been doing this with a TheraBand around your feet if this is still something you're working towards. None of these exercises are easy. And definitely you should use all modifications and all variations that allow you to feel good in your body as you do them. We're going to roll it back down, slowly sink down, try to slow the movement down if you feel you want to accelerate, and then we'll take the arms at our side. I'm just going to move over a little bit so I have more room for the movement of my leg here. Next exercise is single leg circle. So first, pull your right knee into your chest. If you're using a TheraBand, place the band around the sole of the foot, and you would lift the leg up to the ceiling. If you're using the band, the elbows are grounded and low by your waist, so the neck is long and the shoulders are away from your ears. After getting a stretch through the back of the leg, and again, remembering if hamstrings are tight, you bend the knee, but you still feel the stretch at the back of the thigh, we're going to straighten the leg, and it can tip a little bit forward. And here we circle. We cross the leg over center as you inhale, and you exhale, take the leg out to the side, around and up to the ceiling. The size of the circle really depends on your ability to keep your pelvis grounded and your body stable on your mat. So you could start learning this with a smaller circle and then gradually take the size of the circle larger and larger. It's not so hard to keep it down when the leg crosses the body, but when the leg goes out to the side, away from center, that's more difficult. You will feel your oblique abdominals work, and that's a great thing. Do one more. Keep reaching the foot further out into the band or out into space, and lift the leg high enough to feel that stretch again at the back of your leg. Now we reverse. Short inhale, And exhale, the leg sweeps low across the body, lifting it up to the ceiling. And it's a continual flowing movement here. Think of the leg getting longer with every circle, with every repetition. And you're really starting to warm up your core because you're working against the weight of your leg. So now as the leg goes right, I'm pressing down to the left side of my torso. And then as the leg moves left, I'm pushing down to the right side of my torso. And one final circle here, stretching, reaching, drag it over, lift it up. And then we fold the knee in, hug it tight. You would take the band off if you were using it, and then slide that right leg forward, shake it out. And you can feel the difference in the two legs. Even with your hands on your hips, you can feel that the right side has fallen and the hip bone crest is pointed out a little bit on a diagonal. Now let's pull the left leg in, pull it tight. If you're using a TheraBand, place it around the foot. And then we extend the leg up to the ceiling, reach long here, maybe flex the foot, get a little stretch in the calf. As you pull the leg back, get a little more stretch in the hamstring, bend the knee as you need to. And then we're still, if you're holding on, your elbows are bent, hold on to your TheraBand, and we circle. So we take the leg across the center and exhale, stir the air as you circle the leg through space. Short inhale and a long exhale. Keep reaching the leg further and further from the hip socket. You're trying to take up as much space in the room as you can while your body stays grounded and heavy on your mat. Let's do two more here. Bring it across, gives you a stretch in the outer thigh. So right now here we're stretching the IT band and the outer glute. And then as the leg goes out to the side, you're going to feel that stretch through the inner thigh muscle. Reverse your circles. Inhale, the leg moves away from center, across the body, lifted to the ceiling. So when we do the circles, we always start with the leg crossing over the body first to warm up the body. And then we continue into the more difficult version, which begins with the leg reaching away from center. It's more load away from center that way, and that just takes more effort and a little more intelligence of your body working. Let's do one last circle here. The leg rotates on the hip socket. We bring it up to the ceiling and then fold that knee into your chest. Hug it in again. You can really compress at the hip. You can press down into the knee or the shin. And if that bothers your knee, of course, you could always take your hands behind the thigh instead. Now we're rolling. Well, first, before we roll up, let's test out. Let's see how we did when we straighten that left leg next to the right one. Both legs should feel relaxed and long, and the body should feel heavier and yet more open and released, more relaxed than previously. All right, we're coming up for rolling like a ball next. Let's pull the left leg in this time. You can hold on to the back of the thigh or more difficult to the shin. Fold the other leg in and lift that foot up to the ceiling. We rock forward and up to come up to sit and pull yourself towards the front third of your mat. Hold on, easier hands to your thighs, more difficult hands to the shins. That's because you have more of a contained shape and you don't get to kick the legs forward if you need that extra boost coming up. Elbows are wide, the waist pulls back, you look down at your belly. Inhale, we lift the tail to start the movement, you roll back. And exhale, come forward, and you try to prevent yourself from falling forward with your feet landing on the mat. So imagine yourself as a ball and just roll back. It's okay if your hair touches the mat, but you don't want your skull to rest on it. You're really trying not to have your head or your neck touch the mat, and that's why we look down. And it's also why you modulate how much effort you use to roll back. And one more. And from here, lower the feet. We're going to slide back a little bit. And we're going into the ab series. So we're beginning by pulling the right knee in. The right hand is at the ankle. The left hand goes below the knee, both hands on the shin. And as you roll back, you can extend the left leg out and up. Pull the right knee in close. Pull the elbows wide and look right down your midline. Inhale, let's switch the legs. You push one out long as the other one pulls in tight. And switch again. It's also a possibility here you could prop your shoulders up on a ball so that you have a little support for your upper up curl. We're just doing an inhale for one leg to move and an exhale for the other leg to move. One more set. And then we pull both knees into your chest. Go ahead, lay your head down, and then turn your head from side to side. You do build up strength in your core and in your neck muscles as you continue with Pilates. I promise it won't always feel like this, right? So you come up deep into the upper up curl. But meanwhile, when you're learning, you give yourself a lot of breaks for your neck. So here the hands press into the shins push up into the hands, The elbows are wide. You're sort of rounding yourself into a ball shape again. Now inhale, arms and legs extend. Arms are apart, a parallel. Legs are together. And then you circle the arms wide, embrace, and pull the legs into your body. Inhale to reach and stretch. And exhale, circle and pull everything in. You go up. And if you're strong enough, if you feel like you can do it, you can take the arms and legs away from each other. And then you pull everything in. That's where it goes eventually. But really, initially, you can start with the arms and legs vertical. And then choose to go out to whatever angle works for you. Kind of explore and see what your center can support. Let's do one more. So stretch, reach the fingers and toes, pull it all in, and then rest your head down again and turn your head side to side. We're rocking forward again. This time, let's pull the right leg into your body, hand to either thigh or shin, lift the left leg up, and push the legs forward so you roll up to sitting. And here we're moving into spine stretch. So we're coming upright with the chest, let the head float up into the ceiling, the arms extend forward, parallel to the ground. Inhale, imagine pushing your arms down on the tabletop and widen the chest, lift it. As you look down, let the weight of your head start to pull your neck forward, then your upper back forward, and you dive forward, then moves in an arc out and down towards your ankles. As you curve your spine, lift your belly into the spinal curve. Press down with whatever is touching the ground. Your heels, maybe your calves, maybe your thighs, definitely your sits bones. And you pull yourself up from the back of your body, bottom to top. And then we look down again. You exhale all the way out, over and down, creating a curve with your back. And as the waist pulls back, imagine that you're bending over a beach ball that's inflating. And you try to lift your belly around that curve. And then picture that beach ball rolling up the front of your body. So the front of the body will lengthen as it rolls up your front, and the back will shorten, picking you up. One more. Exhale all the way over. Let the breath leave you like the sound of a wave coming up onto the beach as you mimic that action with your spine. Bending over, diving forward, and then press the legs down and articulate up. The shoulders will fall. The chest rises. And then to transition into the next exercise, we dive over and down. Hang low. And then slide your heels in for open leg balance and then rocker. Okay, so here, easiest at this level, we take the hands behind the thighs, rock back on your sacrum, and then inhale, extend the right leg up. This will give you a good stretch for your hamstrings. You may or may not get the knees straight. It will come if you practice, and then the left leg goes up. Stretch it here, hold your body in balance. And then the right leg again. The legs are in turnout. So when you lower the foot, the heels come back in and they kiss together. You push in and feel the work in your inner thighs. And then the left leg goes up and you pull it on back. Now both legs at the same time, they rise, they stretch, fold it back in. And again here, balance work's so important for our bodies. We need to figure out like where the masses of our bodies are and how to balance them. And then one more, let's take both legs up. And then slide your hands up towards your calves, towards your ankles. Look down at your belly, and we're rolling back with straight arms and legs. Lift the tail to go back. And exhale to come forward. And back you go again. And forward here. Keep looking down your midline as you rock. The rocking exercises, the rolling exercises are important in Pilates because it assists your breath, and it also works you equally on the right and left side of the body if you succeed in rolling right down the midline of your mat, both back and forward. And then bend your knees. And then I'm going to skip back a little bit to the center of the mat. Open the legs out for saw. So we're sitting upright, and you may need an assist here by lifting your hips up, like either boost yourself up onto a yoga block, a book, a folded towel, whatever you have. Even seen some stuffed animals being used while everyone's at home now during COVID. So press the arms down, and the hands are a little in front of your chest. If the hands are back too far and your back arches, you don't want that. You want to have a neutral spine with the natural spinal curves here. And then we're going to rotate over the right leg. So you bring the right arm behind you, that thumb goes down and the palm up. The back of the left hand goes to the outside of the right leg. And as you dive your head down towards the pinky toe, think of the ear listening to the right knee, left ear to the right knee. and you pull your right shoulder back with the energy through that arm reaching behind you. You should feel that twist in your spine and in your waistline. Come all the way upright, keep the twist, unwind, and now we spiral in the other direction. So the right hand goes across to the back, the outside of the left leg. You slide it forward. You can bend your knees again if your hamstrings are tight. Get rid of that tension. Reach that back arm long and try to stretch the arms away from each other and feel that stretch across the front of the chest at the collarbones. And we lift to come up. Center here. If your body's super tight, it's even okay to do this sitting on a chair. Because you have to start with where your body is and then gradually get more flexible so you can move the exercise along to a different place. We're looking for that rotation here. I'm trying to open my chest to the wall and my eyes up to the ceiling behind me. Lift to come up, center, and we'll do one more set. As you spiral to the right, diving over, think you're going to need to really put some extra weight in that left glute. So you're not tipping your body off to get the head further down the leg. You're staying grounded through both sits bones equally. Lift to come upright, center, and then we spiral again. And now last time going over to the left, reach that out long, stretch the arm, stretch the head forward, the neck lengthens. You're still getting that spiral in the neck. You're not looking down at your knee because that would just be like a tilted, angled spine. We're trying to get the rotation in the spine as we go forward. Lift to come up, center here, and then lower the arms and close the legs together. So now from here, we're going into our Sidekick series. So we're going to lay on to your side facing the screen. Turns out I'm on my left. You can be at either side. And here, options are you can prop your head up with your hand, or if that's uncomfortable for your neck, you can lay your head down on your arm. You might need a towel folded here to keep your head in good alignment with the rest of your spine. I'm choosing this. And the legs move forward at maybe a 30-degree angle away from the spine. And we take the top hand and push it into the mat right in front of your chest. Pick up your top leg, flex both feet. We're first doing front to back. So you slide the leg forward, you reach back through the tail and the sits bone and pulse the leg once, twice. Point the foot there, swing the leg back and reach behind you, opening the hip and pulse 1 and 2. Now the bottom leg stays grounded. Try to push it into the ground and keep it long. Double pulse forward, point, take it back. Now when the leg goes back, if you have tight hip flexors, like who doesn't after all the sitting we're doing on Zoom, you're going to feel that your chest wants to lean forward. Prevent that. Be sure you stay balanced right on your side seam. Flex the foot to go forward again, double beat here. Point the foot, take it back, and stretch and double pulse there. Come back to center, lower the leg, and we rotate the leg externally. You point the foot and lift the leg up. You flex the foot and pull it down. Heel kisses heel. Point to reach high and flex to go down. Point, lift and flex down. And now we reverse. Flex to go up and a point to lengthen out and reach the leg past the other one. Flex, bring it high and point, stretch it again. Notice that your hips should stay stacked. A lot of times in order to take the leg higher, people fall backwards with their top hip. That's incorrect. And now we're doing rond de jambe, which is a circle in the air with your top leg. Inhale forward with the leg. You rotate it up, back, around, and through center. Short inhale and exhale all the way around. Rotate the leg on the socket so it comes through center in parallel. You start doing a little internal rotation and a little external rotation and all the way around and back to center again. So coming back next, we take it behind us, open the hip, rotate externally, and then you pull it back to neutral as you come through center and take it back again. Hold yourself here. Use your arms to help you stay grounded here and not move your rib cage. So I'm really pushing into the hand in front of me. I'm also really pulling with my bottom elbow. So I engage the muscles underneath my rib cage to help hold me in position. All right, that's good. And let's do this on the other side, but first, in between the sides, we work on grasshopper. So you lay down on your stomach, overlap your hands, and rest your forehead on your hands. Take the legs in external rotation, and we're just going to begin by pushing the pelvis into the ground. Feel like it's weighted as if it was filled with sand here. And then let's pick up the right leg, keeping the right hip bone into the mat. See how high you can lift it and feel that work in your hamstring and your glute. And then you lower the leg down, and then the left. Work your quad to keep the knee straight. You'll want to bend the knee in order to pick up the foot higher, but that's not the point. The point is hip extension and strengthening the glute. So we're pressing down through the hip as we lift the leg and then lower it down. And to the other side, leave your tail dropping a little bit so that the low part of your spine stays heavy, and then lower this leg. Now they won't go as high when you lift both up, but we're going to take the legs in turnout, lift both legs and open and close the thighs to clap the heels together and apart. Try to feel that the thighs, the top of the thighs are just skimming the mat under your body. And again, you're not just moving your lower legs, you're moving your thighs to clap your feet. One more breath like this. And then we lower the legs down and we sit back into child's pose. Push off the ground, round your back, curve it. Stretch out your back here, stretch out your lats by stretching the arms forward. And then we stack the spine and we spin around to the other side. So you lay on down. Again, choose the arm and neck position that works best for you. And you really should be a straight line from the back of your head to your shoulders to your tailbone. Slide the legs forward and press the bottom leg into the ground. Pull the top leg long and you'll feel your waist lift a little bit off of the mat. The top leg rises and we flex the foot. It goes forward, pulse 1, pulse 2, point the foot, take it back and open the hip, 1, 2. Flex to go forward, double beat there. And point to go back, double beat there. So I'm not rocking my torso forward or back. And part of that is because I'm working everything that touches the floor presses into the mat, into the ground. Once the leg goes back, we'll bring the leg forward again and rotate externally. Point to lift the leg up and flex to bring it on down. Point to go high and flex to lower. One more, point, lift and flex down. Now let's reverse, flexing up and point, reaching it long. Flex and lift and point and stretching it down. One more, flex up and point down. And we went from there right into the rond de jambe. So we bring the leg forward, circle up, back, around, and through center. And then reach again. This is one of the hardest variations. You definitely feel this in your upper outer hip. That's your glute med at the top of the outer thigh. Complete the circle and let's reverse. The leg goes back, you rotate externally, you pick the leg up, forward, around and through center, and do that again. So there's a lot of different exercises in this series. I just picked 3 to give you sort of a general feel for it. As you advance into the higher levels of Pilates, as you start to do more exercises in the same amount of time, you'll learn more of the Sidekick series. All right, that's great. And now let's come up to sitting. And time, okay. So let's go ahead here and we'll add in an exercise called spine twist. So you sit upright again, bend your knees as necessary. You're perched right on your sits bones. Extend the arms out to the side. And now we're just rotating. So you're going to spiral. I'm going to my left first to face you. And we pulse 1, 2, 3. Lift to center. And then to the right and pulse 1, 2, 3. Come back to center again. Double, triple beat. And to the other side. Now it's common in this exercise for people to throw their arm around and not really hardly get any rotation at all in their center. Right, so you can see I'm still facing forward, but my arms are swinging to the side. That is not the exercise. A good way to practice this is to take your hands on top of your head, lift your head up into your hands, and then spiral from your waist. And really pull your rib cage around and pulse the rib cage 3 times. And then go center again, and then spin to the other side and pulse the ribs around 3 times. And that's the work you should be feeling even when the arms are extended. It's a lot of effort just to sit upright. If you're not used to it, to sit vertically here, you might have to have your hips elevated as before, and you might need to have your knees bent. Eventually they're straight and you're sitting on the mat. And now just try a couple with the arms extended and see if you can get the same wringing out of your waistline. It's like you're wringing out a washcloth. And do that again. So you twist and you pulse. And one final set here, wring out your center. Just like in yoga, you think twisting can like help get rid of impurities in your body, really like wring out the tissue so that fresh blood can move into it, they can get hydrated, etc. All right, now next from here, let's go ahead and turn over and lay onto your stomach for swimming. So we flip over like so. And extend the arms forward and the legs back. Your head is off the ground, though you're looking down. And then I would pull back through my shoulder blades to come up and feel like that the arms, the hands are supporting me in a little lifted upper back extension. And then maybe just kick the legs. The tail's down. It's dropped between my legs like I've been a bed dog. And then while I'm kicking, I might bring one arm up and then lower it down and then bring the other arm up and then lower that down. And just do that a few times like so. To start to build some strength into the back of our bodies. And then go ahead and lower down. Then the next way to start to strengthen into the full exercise of swimming would be to extend the arms forward, the legs back, and then pick up the opposite diagonal, right arm and left leg, lower them down, and then the left arm and the right leg, and lower those down. So you continue to stretch away from your center and think of lifting the limbs up to the ceiling and then bringing them back down. One more set of these. And then you can sit back in your child's pose. Round your back, curve it. Hang your head down low. Stacking the spine to come up. We'll turn around for seal. This is the final rolling exercise for today. And you take your hands between your legs, wrap your hands around your ankles, and then rock back, balancing on your sacrum. Look down at your belly, and we'll open and close the thighs in order to open and close the feet. So you're not just pressing the feet apart and together, but you're literally opening the knees as you open the thighs and close the knees and the thighs to clap 3 times here. Next, we roll back and balance on the shoulders. The head never touches, and you try to clap your hips in the air. So you're back, and you're 1, 2, 3. Come forward and clap 1, 2, 3. Rolling back, the tail rises as you clap, and then you're forward, looking down into your stomach again. This one's tricky. It takes some time to get it. I'm not always that pleased with mine myself, but you're trying not to roll back onto your head or your neck, and you attempt to lift the tail up and suspend the body while you clap with your hips in the air. Let's do one more. You're pushing arms into legs, legs into arms. And then let's rest the feet. Now, I'm going to just do one more thing here. So this is a sort of a variation on a reformer exercise. Reformer is a piece of equipment that's used in Pilates studios or, people's homes if they have invested in that. There's an exercise called elephant, which is a deep forward fold. And it's great for helping people lengthen out their hamstrings. So we're going to look at a walking elephant variation where you'll come up to standing. I just fit here. So you're going to lose part of me for the first part, but it doesn't really matter. And stand at the end of your mat. Feet are in parallel. And you're just going to look down and do a standing roll down. So your head falls forward, chin to chest, and then you dive your hands down to bring your hands to the ground. Now, if your hamstrings are tight, you're going to need to bend your knees, possibly a lot, to do that. And you hang your head to look between your legs. And then what we're doing, we're going to walk the hands out halfway down the mat. Still hang the head. And then do small steps with your feet to walk your feet, toes towards your wrists. And again, you could be doing this with your knees really bent. It's still good as long as you feel the stretch in the back of your thighs and your hamstrings, and it feels safe for you in the low back. It looks pretty silly. It's very effective. So now we're walking forward with the hands again. And you try to keep the heels down as much as you can as you walk your hands away from them. So similar to a down dog in yoga, We're trying to lift up through the tail of the sits bones and press down through the heels, even if the knees are bent, to get the stretch you want in the back of your legs. And then we walk the feet forward. So awkward, but definitely worthwhile. Drop your head. And then from here, we're going backwards. So you pick up your feet and you walk back to the middle of the mat. Feet are apart, hip width, maybe 4 to 5 inches. Try to drop your head, drop your heels. Stretch your back, bend your knees as necessary, and then bring your hands in towards your feet. And then you stand in your hands and you walk your feet back again. And then walk your hands back in towards your toes one more time. Hang there, dangle there for a couple of deep breaths. You never want to feel this like too much of a pull at the back of your knee or at your sits bone attachment. Really feel it in the belly of the muscle because that's the part of the muscle that can stretch. And then from here, bend the knees, whether you needed to or not when you're standing there before. Press your feet into the ground, curl your tail under, and then you slowly stack your spine, coming up to your standing position. And we're done for today. Good. We still have a couple more classes. Before